This is the story of a mother who made a distinction between her children. In her eyes, a son was always more valuable than a daughter. In a beautiful valley lay a small village, surrounded by tall mountains whose cool shadows embraced the land. A clear stream flowed nearby, reflecting the mountains in its sparkling water, creating a soft, soothing sound as it touched the stones. Lush green trees and colorful flowers were everywhere, and sometimes the sweet chirping of birds echoed from the forest. The villagers lived simple lives. Most were not educated and believed strongly in old traditions. They worked in the fields, raised livestock, and respected their customs deeply. Children played freely in the open air, bathed by the river, and spent their days laughing under the mountain shade. In this valley lived Tanya with her husband and 2 children. Their house was built of stone and wood, with a small garden outside where vegetables and flowers grew. Tanya had a son, Sajid, and a daughter, Sonia. Tanya always gave more importance to Sajid. She believed that sons support their parents in old age, while daughters leave after marriage. She fulfilled Sajid's every wish, cooked his favorite meals, bought him new clothes, and agreed with everything he said. Sonia's efforts and love were often ignored, and sometimes she was even scolded. But the children's father was different. He was kind and wise. He would gently tell Tanya, "For God's sake, don't discriminate between children. A son and a daughter are equal. What you sow today, you will reap tomorrow." Sonia and Sajid often played by the river. They built small forts from stones, laughed together, and sometimes jumped into the water. When they returned home with muddy clothes, Tanya would scold Sonia for being dirty. But if Sajid was dirty, she said nothing. Sonia felt a small pain in her heart, yet she stayed silent and chose happiness with her brother over complaint. Their childhood was joyful, but Tanya's favoritism remained clear. Every evening when their father returned home, he brought something: fresh fruit, sweets, or small toys. Yet Tanya always gave the better share to Sajid. At night, she prepared a glass of milk only for Sajid. Sonia never received one. She remained quiet, carrying silent sadness in her heart. One day Sonia said to her father, "Abba, I want a watch so I can manage my time for studies and play." Her father happily bought a beautiful watch. But as soon as Tanya saw it, her face hardened. She snatched it and gave it to Sajid. "Why give this to a girl?" she said. "What will she do with a watch? This is useful for boys." Sonia felt deep disappointment but remained silent. Time passed. Sajid grew into a young man, respected and loved by many. Sonia also grew up, filled with patience and strength. She served her parents without complaint. Eventually, Sajid got married, and Sonia left for her in-laws' home. Still, Tanya believed her son would be her support in old age. A few years later, their father passed away. The man who had kept balance and fairness in the home was gone. The house felt empty and quiet. After his death, loneliness slowly filled Tanya's life. Now only Sajid and his wife Saima lived with her. Gradually, Saima began showing her authority. Love and harmony disappeared from the house. Saima slowly started mistreating Tanya. She made her do all the household work, spoke harshly, and even restricted her food. Tanya grew weak and ill, yet Sajid remained silent. He neither defended his mother nor spoke against his wife. Every day, sadness deepened in Tanya's eyes. One day Saima said coldly, "This old woman is of no use anymore. Throw her out." Sajid lowered his head and said nothing. And so, weak and sick, Tanya was thrown out of her own home. Carrying her pain silently, she went to her daughter Sonia. Sonia embraced her mother warmly. She cared for her, gave her medicine, and never let her feel like a burden. One day, Sonia's mother-in-law said, "Your daughter never made us feel she is a daughter-in-law. She treated us like her own parents." Hearing this, tears filled Tanya's eyes. She cried and said, "All my life I favored my son, thinking he would support me in old age. I ignored my daughter, believing she would leave. Today I understand how wrong I was. Children should never be treated differently. They must be raised with equal love and fairness. Otherwise, old age brings loneliness and humiliation. Sonia wiped her mother's tears and said softly, "Mother, a daughter is never someone else's. It is parents' love and justice that make her strong. Sons and daughters are both blessings. True support comes from fairness and good upbringing." If you like this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.